Hi, I'm Akira.
Naam Rohan Nahar.
Welcome to The Long Take. This week we're discussing the new Apple movie, Ghosted, starring Chris Evans and Armas. You already obviously seen it, so I'm not going to tell you what they're doing in the movie. Why is this movie so bad?
Yeah, it feels like they made it over a weekend or something and everybody got paid like their quote. Like $30 million. Thank you.
Do they get the money? I'm guessing Evans does. I don't think Armas is on that level yet.
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's getting 30 million. But then I'm pretty sure that everybody agreed to do this because they were getting like top dollar, like first quote.
Yeah,
and
basically Apple has money to throw around. And they were like, Jo Mangna Hai Mango, Skydance. And they were like, have fun.
And my theory is, I was telling someone this today, that nobody's going to remember this movie like by next weekend, so it's not even going to hurt their like image.
Yeah, I think that's what they want, right? It's almost like it's why this movie didn't even go in theaters, right? Like say Apple is being like with Martin Scorsese, even though it's like over 3 hours long, they're planning a whole like Cannes premiere, I don't know, or some like long like theatrical release and stuff, and then releasing it, right? They're creating buzz around it. This movie, like they were like, let's not do like any theatrical stuff, even though it has two big stars. Let's just dump it on our platform because no one involved wants collectively to like remember this.
Yeah, it's like the perfect crime, right? Because then you make more money than you're probably going to make ever in any other movie, at least in this stage, and then nobody even like points fingers at you for making bad.
And be like, like remember that blip in your career?
Nope. Didn't happen.
Although, except for like, I mean, it's more than a blip now for Evans because he's done like Grey Man and Ghosted back to back.
Yeah, but Grey Man, they're like doing full PR around it. Like, oh, what a great success. So many, like 1 trillion million minutes people.
Yeah, but for him, it's a one-off, right? Because like, he's not coming back.
Yeah, he's dead.
So for him, it's just like, he's creating a trail of like destruction.
And I mean, it's damning with faint praise, but like if anybody got out of that movie alive, it's Chris Evans, right? Because everybody was like, "Ye kitni bekar movie hai," but okay, like Chris Evans was having fun, I guess.
Yeah, he was chewing scenery at least, like just like having fun with his like villainous role. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here he's cast in like what the guy next door role. Like I don't know why.
So my thing was like a decade ago, Seth Rogen would have played this role. Right? He's so horribly miscast in this movie. He's supposed to be like the schlub, right? Like the average Joe who can't.
Yeah. Like he's he's running with his suitcase everywhere. Like that's how dumb he is.
Yeah, he has no special skills. He's like just tag along. Like oh my god, like Armas has to protect him like in every like scene.
Also, like over the course of the movie, even though it's like a few days, like he gains skills somehow by the end of the movie.
He gains skills, yeah, because the movie requires him to like.
Yeah, he handles his own like in that plane fight. And then he handles more than his own in the finale.
The first moment where I was like, what the hell, was when I think they're in Atlanta/Pakistan and Ana de Armas is like, can you use a gun? And he's like, yes. I was like, what?
And then then they sort of like reveal that we're like, oh no, he shoots tin cans. That's why he's basically a red-blooded American who shoots like tin cans on the weekend with his gun.
But then for the first 30 minutes, the movie tells you, okay, he's a bit of a geek, he likes history.
He's a farmer/to-be author.
Yeah. And which doesn't scream like action hero to me, right?
Yeah.
So,
you could have easily make him a veteran, right? Like, I mean, that's like an easy way to like, just give someone gun skills.
But that's not fun, right? You can't have one CIA agent and have one veteran. Like, okay, fine, boring. The fun thing
then it's not a comedy then.
Yeah, you cast someone who doesn't look like Chris Evans in that role because clearly you've written it as a regular person, right? Character.
The problem is, I think Chris Evans cast himself, right? Because he's a producer on the movie. So I think the role, that's why the only role that changed was Ana de Armas. That was supposed to be Scarlett Johansson or something. And then some production schedule, whatever nonsense. She had to drop out. So I don't think Evans was ever going anywhere. Because it's almost his movie in a way. Yeah.
That's production schedule. This thing drop out as code for, they didn't give me like $55 million that I asked for.
Because that's her court now these days.
That's her court. Yeah. But I don't know. Ana de Armas is just wasting her. Everybody knows that she's talented and she has like great screen presence. But then if you do nonsense like this in The Grey Man, which I kept forgetting that usme bhi thi.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot they were both there. I just remember Chris Evans was there. Even she was there. Oh god. Yeah, that movie has just like too many people like doing nothing.
Yeah, it was vaguely similar things that she was doing if I recall. Like she was just firing guns, which is the general vibe that I get from this movie as well. Like I don't know what she's doing. She's just firing guns here and there, running around.
And that's basically what she's been doing for the last 3 years now, from Bond to here.
Yeah, but in Bond, she was like a breath of fresh air. Like, ooh, like,
Yeah.
who's that? And
And
then
she's gonna
she
continue
did
doing
like,
more of this because now she's like becoming the female John Wick.
she's becoming the female John Wick, which she clearly is. I don't know. So, like, traditionally, it's never really a great idea to, I don't know, take over a franchise that is so closely linked with one actor.
Yeah.
Especially
like
if that
the one
actor
that has already had like 4 movies, you know. It's not like chal ek John Wick hua and then her movie came, right? It's been like a saga. It's been a decade of John Wick movies.
Yeah. So even if like John Wick comes and he like hands over the baton ke ab ye hai for the foreseeable future, people are like, yeah, no, you know, we've got a taste of the real thing. We don't want this.
Yeah, that's
so
a minefield.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, she is sticking with action. We know that she can act, you know. We know that she can just, she's the kind of person who can stand in the corner of the frame and you're going to be looking at her. But here, which is what I thought was insane, right? You've taken, we always, you know, complain that movie stars khatam ho gaye hain, you know, franchises, you know, superheroes are the movie stars now, characters are the movie stars. Here, you have two people who are genuinely like, people like them, you know.
Yeah. Which is why, like, even though it's not like anything special the first 20 minutes, it still works because it's Chris Evans and Ana de Armas. They can make it work.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far because I was like, the movie is telling me that it's working, but I'm struggling to understand why and how. Like, I understand that you think it's working.
Yeah, which is why everyone keeps saying like, because they like, for I think people like you, like who are not convinced that's why they have the next half an hour and then, as you said, Atlanta/Pakistan, everyone keeps telling them to get a room, right? The film is like, we need to like remind you that there is sexual tension here. We need to remind you there's subtext here. Like, stop calling it out.
Yeah, exactly. No, because they do that. And then there's the whole scene with the parents, right? Which exists for 2 reasons, right? One reason is for the movie to keep reminding you, oh, that was a really good date.
Yeah.
Remember? And you're like, yeah, I guess, because you've told me. And then the second reason is that this बहन को explain करना है to whoever the janta, the target audience of this movie is, what ghosted means.
Yeah. There's literally that's the exposition scene of Ghosted. She's sitting on like a farm ka like fence and she's like telling the boomer audience, you know, who have tuned in, the dads who have tuned in, American dads who are watching this movie on a Friday night. They're like, we don't know what Ghosted means, bro. Please tell us.
Yeah. It's a fairly complicated kind of way to explain the title. But whatever, you know, what's stranger in that scene is the movie is A, it's telling you that inka chemistry hai. And B, it's like literally like doing cartwheels, trying to be like, no, what he's doing isn't creepy. Yeah. But you're like, no. It is.
Which is why I think they make it like the mother's idea, right? It's not like he's like, I'm going to go to London.
Which is weird.
It's the mother. It's like, we should go to London. Because if it came from him, that'd be much creepier.
But I found that to be even stranger. Like, why is the mother so invested? Why is the mother giving him bad ideas? Like, she should be the one who's like, nahi, bhai, ek hi baar mile ho tum. What are you even saying?
Yeah.
Wait for her to come back. Both parents, in fact, like, go na. And I don't know. It's also strange because they keep telling you that he doesn't travel and he stays. Why would you do that? Like, what kind of character trait is that to kind of, why would you insist on making him someone who doesn't travel? It doesn't make any sense. Just have him be a regular person who's traveled once or twice. It doesn't matter. Because you don't even play the fish out of water thing, right? In London. There's one scene, I've paid so much money.
Yeah, I paid like 137. I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, what is going on here? Like, this guy's that dumb.
Why did he even go to London? Because London is literally one street. He gets kidnapped, and next thing you know, they like, it's one of those.
They're like, we don't have enough money to shoot the entire movie in London, so we must leave now.
Yeah. And
that's basically what happened, I think.
Is there a scene missing? Did I miss something?
No, that's basically it. They kidnap him and then take him thousands of miles away to Pakistan for some reason.
Do we see how that happens?
No, they don't show us. It just, he's given an injection, and because we're seeing the movie through his perspective, he goes blank, and when he wakes up, he's in Pakistan.
He's in a cave, right?
Yeah.
When he wakes up. So I have been led to believe that they've dragged him.
Yeah, I just thought there was the same street but underground.
Exactly. And then when he escapes...
Until they tell us that it's Pakistan when they come out, right? When he's running with the bag, the suitcase, then they tell us, oh, it's Pakistan.
Is that either have they missed something? Or is it supposed to be like this big reveal? Okay, woo, you didn't see that coming, did you? Like, you're
yeah, it's supposed to be a big reveal. Like, oh yeah, look, they took him all the way there, and then she followed him there as well, I'm guessing, whatever.
Or I don't know. Okay, yeah.
It's
Now you're
pointless.
in Tyler Perry Studios, Atlanta. Here you go.
Yeah.
Now you get one chase
Or like in
scene.
New Mexico or whatever.
All that's fake, right? There's not a single like inch of that is real.
Yeah.
Except maybe
The only thing they shot in actual is Washington and London. The end.
yeah.
After that,
the whole,
everything is fake.
I mean, I will say for a brief moment, I thought the chase was okay.
Which is,
The bus thing.
I mean, yeah, it's serviceable.
It's serviceable. I mean, I was expecting it to be terrible because I know that you are doing that green screen nonsense and I know that I hate it. It's going to look flat. It's going to look boring. But then there is like a slight sense of geography and choreography to that chase where I'm like, oh, weirdly enough, I'm following you. And there are a couple of funny bits thrown in. And it feels like it's probably the only thing that works because they worked on it first. And the rest of it they did over a weekend. Like, वो scene तो बना हुआ है computer के अंदर.
Yeah, the finale is just like bonkers.
The finale is when I checked out. So I watched it like literally less than 24 hours ago and I have no memory of it.
Same.
I cannot tell you the first thing about what happens in the finale. It's in
I
some
don't
fake...
want to remember it. Like, so I don't want to like recall it and tell you because then I will remember it and I don't want to.
But I genuinely do not know what happens in it. I do not know who's who. I do not know why Chris Evans is suddenly taking the lead. I do not know what Adrian Brody's motivation is. I do not know.
I don't know why he exists. Like, why? Forget one villain. There's like, at the end, there's like multiple villains. And I'm like, oh, bro, you never introduced these people. And now you want me to take these people seriously? Why do you expect me to do that?
There is a biological weapon in this movie, right?
Yeah, it's a MacGuffin. It just drives the plot.
So yeah, that's the movie's big, I guess, flaw, right? Because you don't really follow why these characters are doing anything, and beyond a point, like I think after the Pakistan whatever bus chase, it's completely stops being a romantic comedy, right?
It comes and goes. Like they have to really force it, right? Because at the first you have to force his involvement, right? After the Pakistan scene. Okay, that one, it's like, oh, she had to rescue him, he was kidnapped. But every minute after that, now you have to justify why a civilian is being kept around.
Which is, I guess, one of those things that in a better movie, you just be like, I'll roll with it.
Yeah.
But here you're like, why is he around? This is the kind of movie where you're like questioning the logic of it, which is a telltale sign like, oh, nothing in it is working. Like your basic, jo fundamental hota hai ki you're taking a leap of faith, it's just not. Your brain is like, no, it's just refusing to accept.
Also because like the movie can't pick a lane, right? Like it can't be like, okay, right now we're gonna be sincere and like talk about our heart feelings or whatever nonsense. And then like a minute later it's like, oh no, we want to be like a Deadpool 3 or whatever. And we're gonna have like literally like 14 cameos in like one scene and then blow everyone up.
Yeah, which is you can very easily confuse this for like at least a dozen other movies that have come out recently.
But in that like moment, it just became like a parody of itself in a way. I'm just like, what is happening? Like I can understand you want to like make a joke out of it, that there's like, okay, there's bounty hunters after them. But like, it doesn't work, right? Because there's no investment in these characters. They show up like for 10 seconds, they get 10 seconds of action and then die in the next 10 seconds. Why am I supposed to, like, how is this joke supposed to work?
The joke isn't supposed to work. So it's, this is basically a meta, whatever, Chris Evans doing that Captain America meme where he's like, I get that reference. There is no reference either. It's just like, I see a famous person, ka face, and that in itself is supposed to kind of trigger some sort of emotion in the viewer.
Yeah, so I really tried to like boggle my mind around like, why would you do this, right? Like, why would you?
Because they've decided that is enough.
But like, what does it contribute to? Like, is it basically that,
Nothing.
They will like at some point, because someone will watch this and then they will go like on Twitter or on TikTok and they'll be like, oh, like, this movie has like these insane cameos, bro. You must watch it, bro.
Yeah,
is that what they expect? That's what will happen. And then they were hoping off that whatever viral like tweet or like that one video, they will get more subscribers or more plays on this movie. Is that the big thought process here?
No, I think it's the equivalent of har 10 minute ke baad we need like an action scene. Like modern Hollywood filmmaking का equivalent of that is we need like something where the audience kind of looks up from their phone now. And they hope that अच्छा ठीक है पिछले 10 minutes में we've been having a lot of Jafar has suddenly come, there's some backstory happening, chit chat, people are going to be looking at their phones and suddenly you're like, ooh, what the hell, Anthony Mackie.
Oh wait, Anthony Mackie, Sebastian Stan, what is happening? Oh wait, every 10 seconds I look up, there's a new face on my screen.
Yeah, it's literally that. And then after the cameos, like you've written in the notes that Ryan, I did not even register Ryan. When did this happen?
Yeah. In the middle of your like chaotic finale, why would you do that?
It's kind of insane.
Like imagine like in the Dark Knight, Christian Bale is like chasing like Heath Ledger through those buildings and like trying to figure out like who's the dummy and who's the real like terrorist. And then uske beach when you just throw in like some, I don't know, Ryan Reynolds. Like
it's always Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds shows up as like the Riddler. And like, oh hi, I'm here now for like 1 minute and then I'll die. Like what?
It's how like in the last whatever 3 Shah Rukh Khan movies Salman Khan has come, and in the last whatever however many Salman Khan movies Shah Rukh Khan pops in. Aise like Tube Light mein Shah Rukh Khan is there for like 1 second.
I have no idea because I don't watch these movies, but yeah.
It happens, right? Like you are friends in real life and everybody knows that you're friends and you're playing on that image as well. And in what was that movie, that really terrible video game thing that Ryan Reynolds did?
Video game?
That video game movie that came out a couple of years ago.
Oh,
Game Over.
Detective Pikachu.
No. In which he's a video game character.
Another one?
Oh my god, what's the movie's called? He's like this NPC character who comes to life, and it's like that, like the world. He's kind of
Free Guy.
Free Guy.
He's done so many video game movies. I was like, which one are you talking about now?
So Free Guy ke andar, I remember I watched it in like some press screening, and like people cheered when Chris Evans showed up or something.
I have forgotten that this happened, by the way.
Yeah. Something to that effect happened. Either Chris Evans showed up or like the Captain America shield showed up.
Yeah. No, that definitely happened. The shield definitely happened because they had like 1,000 references and Easter eggs in the finale.
So one of those
they
things.
Had like lightsabers and everything.
Yeah. But here, I think it's just like, now like we just do that. Plus it's written by like the Deadpool people. So everybody's like,
yeah. It's like exactly. That's what they cashed in on. The writers were like, what do we need in this finale? This finale is not working. We need our friend Ryan Reynolds.
Which is again one of those things that is a full scam, right? Because you have Deadpool ki writers who are like high profile people probably at this point. Right. And then you have Spider-Man ki writers, the new Spider-Mans.
Yeah, I'm guessing they didn't write together, right? It's like someone did a first draft and then someone did a second draft on their first draft.
Sure, but like you have 4 writers who they're getting full like proper paisa. Like they can demand what they want.
Yeah, because they've all written for like big budget like blockbuster movies. So now
all of which have been hits.
Yeah, billion-dollar hits in case of the Spider-Man movies.
So this is like 20 years ago, you would have like, oh, your movie has like Shane Black did a pass on your script. Like that's the level, right?
Yeah.
Or like, what's his name? Like Michael Bay is directing and Shane Black has done like 1 draft. Us type se. And I'm like, what the hell? I mean, obviously Dexter Fletcher isn't Michael Bay, but Dexter Fletcher ka alag hi trajectory. I'm like, completely, what the hell happened to him?
Yeah.
It's insane. Like I remember watching his first movie, Wild Bill, when it came out. I was like, this is brilliant. It was a great movie. And then he did like 2 other really good movies after that. And then he just slipped into this, kya chahiye? Haan, main kar dunga. Like that. Like you want someone who can show up on set and basically yell action cut,
Which is, I'm sure that's what happened here in this movie. He's completely phoning it in. There's no way. Like I feel like this is like, I'm gonna almost go like so far to say that this is the Jet Li Mulan thing. I don't think he was there on set.
It is the Jet.
Some days he was not there. AD just showed up and be like, Evans, anonymous, you are the director now.
Yeah. Or what was that one? Guy Ritchie doing Aladdin. He was hired just for the photos.
Yeah. He was hired. Like, you're the face. So we can say from the director of Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocketman.
And what was the recent? I read some interview, or not even an interview, like one of those quote things where on Fast and Furious 10, Michelle Rodriguez was like, yeah, we directed that scene.
Yeah. She did the scene like that, the scene with the fight scene with Charlize Theron.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? She was like, हाँ director नहीं था ना हमारे पास.
Yeah. Actually नहीं था. उनका तो actually logistical issue था.
Yeah.
One director had left and they were losing money. Apparently they were losing some millions every day being on set.
And what, like some other, it's very common these days for people to just fully admit, yeah, we just remotely directed that scene, you know. Like हम तो यहाँ पर थे and वो तो London
and this movie has been shot during COVID, so like that's adding to my conspiracy that, you know, Fletcher was not there.
I think fully like they had like, we have one action scene ready. Chris Evans is on board. Everybody gets paid like whatever they want. Right? Here's a script.
Yeah.
And we just need you to basically literally phone it in on Zoom.
Zoom. And anyway, Evans is the producer. So he can, if he's on set, then everything goes.
So Chris Evans did this movie, right? He's directed this one movie, which is basically a Before Sunrise ripoff. In which he did this romantic comedy / drama where Chris Evans is like this whatever person in New York City or whatever, and he runs into this woman, and they spend like this entire longish whole night they spend together and go on adventures, whatever. It's like supposed to be Before Sunrise, and I'm willing to bet, like, if you want to continue this conspiracy theory, कि उसका वो opening full rom-com thing, he's like, मुझे फिर से एक बार और करना है.
Yeah. The first 20 minutes is basically Before Sunrise.
Yeah. He's like, just give me that much, I'll do that. You don't even need to show up Dexter Fletcher. And Dexter Fletcher's like, yeah, anyway, मैं तो वैसे भी zoom करने वाला था तुम्हें. You do you. This is completely anonymous, right? We crap on the Russos कि भाई तुम लोग क्या कर रहे हो? You keep doing this. And this is like full Russo influence.
Yeah, it is.
We can
if you extended that time, if you said Ghosted is from Russo's and Grey Man is from Dexter Fletcher, I could not argue.
You can't, right? This is like completely anonymous. Like, is this even a movie? At one point, you have to ask
Is
this.
this even
And I've been like arguing for so long that the difference between something like this, like something that an A-list Hollywood studio would produce, or something like, you know, a big, say, Lakshmi Bomb or whatever. The difference is that, the difference is that at least Ghosted adjacent would be competently made as opposed to Lakshmi Bomb. You know, but I can't even argue that anymore. This is not a competently
I don't think.
made.
Yeah, we're losing that variable as well with those arguments now.
This is a slap together. This is complete nonsense.
The only thing you can say is that, like, you know, the VFX is more convincing. That's it at this point. Because they have more money.
I guess they have more money, right? Yeah, that's it. They can't even. But yeah, in fact it's worse because you know that whoever did Liger, I don't know his name, he's probably incompetent in real life, like otherwise also. But here it's like, oh, Dexter Fletcher did this. That person has made movies before which have been good. But it's just one of those things, I guess. But luckily for everybody involved, like, it's you forget
no one's gonna talk about this.
You forget it while it's on.
We can all move on to their other projects.
Yeah, just probably going to be more of this for at least a little while.
I mean, yeah, for Apple at least, like, this is the start. I was looking at their slate. This is the start of their, like, Netflix whatever mainstream era.
I would argue it happened with, funnily enough, another Ryan Reynolds movie last year, which is the Christmas musical thing with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, I think that was like a family event or whatever, right? Like these are more four-quarter movies because they appeal to, like, even teenagers, and like that's what you want, right? Like that's kind of audience you want. Like you want, like, properly, like, everyone in the family. And like especially like the big budgets and the big stars and everything, all that thing.
Yeah. It was good while it lasted, but we knew it was coming, right? It was inevitable. Like, we've seen this cycle happen with literally every other
streamer out there.
Yeah. Like, who?
Yeah, like next week, like speaking of Russo, next week, like, Amazon is dropping like a $250 million show from the Russos.
Which looks exactly like this, by the way.
Yeah. It looks like fully generic. It's like another Grey Man, basically. I don't know how, like, when will the world realize that maybe the Avengers were, like, movies were good because the writing was good and not just because you give Russo like full creator control. Maybe that's not the right call anymore. Because Apple has given them money, with Cherry, which we talked about, which was not that much money. It was okay, decent money. And
but then I read somewhere that Cherry was supposed to be like half of that and they went crazy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then, basically that's the new thing, right? Since like Avengers, this has been like burning everyone's money. Netflix and then Amazon. I don't know who's next. I think Netflix is next again.
Yeah. They're doing something called the Electric State.
Yeah. And they're doing Grey Man 2 with them as well. So like Netflix is clearly like going to spend $1 billion on the Russos by the time they're done.
Yeah. But I see this is not even, I think this industry is so messed up. Like, I don't know if you read that Hollywood Reporter article that came out, which is about this only partially, Citadel and everything. Okay, they've kind of made the show twice because they weren't happy and it's suddenly the most expensive thing ever. And then uske beech mein like burying the lead, talk about that. But there was this one sentence or something where Phoebe Waller-Bridge is being paid $60 million a year and she has done nothing.
Yeah, she's supposed to she's like a consultant on like a bunch of things, right? And then she produces her own shows, which are like
she was supposed to do I don't know what Tomb Raider thing, didn't go anywhere, and then she was just given a free haan tumhare ko itna deal hai, you have to come with show. Kuch nahi kiya. It's like the J.J. Abrams deal.
yeah, the Warner Brothers like deal just going and he's making free money and he's not delivered anything. But he is still supposedly working on a Mr. and Mrs. Smith thing. Which may or may not happen.
But now that's also another one of those things. No. It's not like she's sitting idle. She's doing something.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's almost like a virtue calling thing from the studios, right? Like they want to be in the same sentence as these talents.
Yeah.
Like in the news. They're like, Phoebe Waller-Bridge gave us free back. We must ensure there's no headline called Netflix nabs Phoebe Waller-Bridge for like X million. So like just pay her just to keep her in the house.
How soon do you think Amazon will realize that the Russos are working with virtually every streamer along? It's exclusive nahi hai wo. You don't have to throw like $300 million at
I think the Russos will basically keep going like wherever someone gives them like $200 million, right? Like they'll go whichever. I think Peacock will be the next one, then Max will be the next one. Max will be like, 200 million le lo tum bhi, hamare liye bhi kuch bana do, please.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of sad what's happening, but
yeah, the glut of like action films with like big stars is like the streamers' newest obsession.
Yeah, this is full like ChatGPT level nonsense, right? What do you?
And I'm sure like if you like the thing is it hasn't reached that level, but like after a point ChatGPT can watch movies, right? So I'm sure like you can be like watch Grey Man, Ghosted, Cherry, and like Avengers Endgame and write me a new script.
Yeah,
I'm like, here you go.
Here's $200 million
now. After one, just do that as well. ChatGPT just shouts on a Google document. Action! Alright, that's all for this episode of The Long Take. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram at The Long Take Pod. You can write to us at thelongtakepod@gmail.com. Please leave us a rating and a review wherever you listen to this episode, and we will see you next week.